Hello and welcome to NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Thanks for joining us. We begin with a closer look at sustainability, an area where America's beef producers continue to be leaders. After all, land stewardship and best management practices go hand in hand with a successful long-term cattle business. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz has more on how the U.S. beef industry stakeholders are coming together to help highlight the sustainability of American beef.
Sustainability is an issue that's always top of mind for cattle producers across the U.S., but what exactly is sustainable beef and how do we measure it? Those are some of the questions the U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef, known as USRSB, is hoping to answer.
The USRSB is made up of beef producers, it's made up of processors and packers. We have retailers involved, including retail and food service participants who buy beef and sell it to consumers. And we also have interest groups, NGOs that are working on issues of sustainability and environmental issues. And we all come to the table together and we're trying to come up with solutions that we can all agree on, even though we don't all agree on all the issues.
So the U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef is really about helping drive continuous improvement for the full value chain for beef and sustainability, and helping to drive and provide the definition as well as opportunities for verification and communication to the end consumer.
The U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef met recently in Denver to wrap up its first year and make plans for year 2 and beyond. One of the key developments for USRSB was the creation of high-priority sustainability indicators for the beef industry. The indicators allow the beef value chain to benchmark its efforts and identify ways to continue to advance beef's sustainability.
One of our most important priorities is developing indicators for sustainability. What are the things that we're going to need to understand and measure in order to say that beef producers and beef production in the U.S. is sustainable and getting more sustainable over time?
So one of the things that's happened in the last year is all those indicators had to be identified, and we sort of sorted it down to 6. So water would be an example, animal welfare would be an example, so on and so forth. And now we've got to finish the metric development on each indicator. So we have already done it for the one I mentioned in water. So we did it for water in the cow-calf segment, the feeder segment, the packer segment, and the end user segment. Now we've got to take, for example, the next one, which would be animal welfare. And then they'll go through, and each segment will identify the metrics to measure how they are executing against that indicator. So that's going to be a high priority to finish the metric development.
Research shows American consumers are increasingly interested in the social, economic, and environmental impacts of the beef they purchase. The efforts of the U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef will help the industry be more transparent with those consumers.
That's why it's so critically important, and I think sometimes that sounds a little nebulous and gray and fuzzy, but this is not a fad. This is very much a trend, and it's demanded not only here domestically but globally. If we're going to compete in the protein marketplace, sustainability's got to be a part of our business.
It's important to U.S. beef producers because they're the heart of this effort. We've said in the U.S. Roundtable that nothing we do works if it doesn't work for U.S. beef producers, and that the voice of the U.S. producer has got to be really influential in this process. And I'm really pleased to say that it has been.
Reporting from Denver, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.